Your sons have spent the past 9 weeks learning the basics of being a cadet at the Missouri Military Academy. They have studied their cadet handbooks and passed a rigorous, comprehensive written exam. They have learned the basics of military drill and ceremonies, learned the military structure and bearing, how to keep their rooms ready, and the basics of contributing to a team effort through our company competition. While they still have much to learn, they have met the requirements and earned the right to wear the Gold Star, indicating membership in a JROTC Honor Unit of Distinction, as determined by the Cadet Command of the U.S. Army. Over the years, many military schools have used a passing-through ceremony, similar to this one today, to designate a person's passing from recruit to cadet status. As our recruits pass through the front gate and march forward, they are welcomed as full cadets of the Corps by the battalion commander and the administration of the school.
Charlie Company report. All present and accounted for. Sir, all the reports. All present and accounted for.
Sergeant Major, the 133rd Corps of Cadets is all present and accounted for.
Colonel, sir, take it close.
Sir, the Corps is formed, the colors are present, and all new recruits are ready to be welcomed into the Corps.
Very well, Command Sergeant Major. Bring the new cadets forward to be recognized and welcome them to their corps.
Yes, sir. First Sergeant, bring in all new recruits. take your post. Sir, all new recruits are present and accounted for and are ready to be welcomed into the Corps.
Very well, sir. Put the Corps at parade and rest and take the post.
Hooray!
Well, ladies and gentlemen, can you hear me? Hey, welcome on behalf of Brigadier General Geraci, our faculty, our staff, and for the old parents that have been here. You hear me say this every time. Magnificent cadets are out here on the floor. I want to welcome you to our beautiful campus today. I'm sorry that it's a little bit cold today, but last week we were under 8 inches of snow. It was whiteout conditions, and it was still coming down on Saturday. So now we're getting out of it, and it's pretty much going away, but we got cold weather with it. This is Missouri, it changes all the time. But thank you for being here today. This is the first Valentine's review we've had in, I think, 2 years now, due to COVID. And so it's always good to get the parents back on campus to see what the boys can do. Now, for the old parents that are here, that were here at the last one, and were here during the fall family weekend, you're probably looking out at the cadets in the formation and you're saying, where are they? We're a little thin today, and there's a reason for this. We've got boys scattered all over Missouri competing in varsity athletic events as well as JROTC events. So, like Hollywood, we don't stop the show, we keep on going. There's a lot of boys out there today, platoon leaders, first sergeants, a few of my whole staff, my battalion staff here, are all competing somewhere in the state. I've got marksmen from the JROTC marksmanship team that are up in Camp Perry, Ohio, that are competing at the national. And we believe there's going to be a couple of them come back of honor. We have about a dozen boys that are at districts for wrestling, and they're competing right now, and they'll probably have a few of them. Our wrestling team has done very well this year. We've been following them on Facebook. And then we've got the drill team, the Fusiliers as we call them. And there's about 7 teams within the Fusiliers that compete in drill competitions. And they're down in Sedalia today at Smith Cotton High School. There's probably about a dozen, maybe a little bit more teams down there, several hundred young men and women who drill for Army JROTC, and they're right now competing against them. And I'll tell you, if you follow them on Facebook, they're on fire. In fact, we've got more trophies for their exploits this year than we had cases to put them in. And they've got about 2 or 3 more competitions in the following weeks. And then they'll be gearing up to go to Daytona Beach, Florida in April to compete in the Army JROTC National Drill Competition, as well as the National Drill Competition, which are all the services JROTCs. And we expect they're going to be taking a lot of first places down there. So they're doing great. But they're all gone, and that's about 60 boys, which is a third of my corps. And for us, we look at that as an opportunity. Okay, to us, varsity athletes, we think competing for the boys is important. It's good for their self-esteem, their self-confidence. But it's also an opportunity for young new boys to step up and be leaders. My command sergeant major today usually isn't the commander of troops, but he's going to be today. We found that out last week when we realized we had everybody gone. So they're going to put on a good show for you today. Now, with that said, I want to transition to why we're here right now, the passing through ceremony, which is a tradition here in MMA. All military boarding schools have some form of orientation training that their young men go through and women go through, depending on whether they're co-ed or they're all male like we are. Of the 32 military boarding schools that are out there today, our school probably has the longest, most structured orientation. They call it Marine training. And the boys have been here for 5 weeks. The boys that came earlier in the year were here for 8 weeks. The boys that were standing before you today, the 24, metaphorically have about 15 pounds stuffed in a 5-pound sack in a 5-week period. And so they had to get a lot more training, a lot more of it up front than the boys who come at the beginning of the year. But these boys, these 24 young men, have demonstrated to myself, to the president, that they have the skill sets to be transition from new cadet to permanent cadet or full cadet status. That means today, and they're excited about this, because tonight one of them said, "Can we order pizza?" Betcha. So they're excited about that. They get general liberty on the weekends. They can go out with the other boys when they sound general furlough or we go out of town on the weekends. They're not going to be in the classroom on a Saturday and Sunday learning about the handbook and drill and things like that. They'll go with everyone else. So they'll be full cadet status in a few days. The thing that they've demonstrated to us in this 5 weeks, they've been immersed in our rules, our regulations, our traditions, our customs and courtesies. They've learned about hygiene. Just look at their hair. They've learned about how to wear a uniform. Uniform's important because it gives them self-esteem, self-confidence, attention to detail. They've learned how to walk. We call that drill. And they've still got a little bit of a ways to go. And some of them get a little bit upset when they screw things up. But that's good because they know they made a mistake and they'll do better next time. But they're learning more about drill as we go along here. That's been the work they've been immersed in that for the last 5 weeks. And a lot of other issues that we've been teaching the boys. Not only have we been involved in the issues of the handbook, but we've also challenged them in the classroom. They've done all this while going to school with everyone else. They've also done it while they've been involved in athletic events like everyone else. And when you look at that, and you compare that they came here from all over the globe. Some came from as far away as China, South America, Latin America, Mexico, the United States, West Africa. We've got one from Canada. But they come here, first time away from home, under that kind of pressure, and they're getting that kind of instruction. It's not easy. Not only that, but it's in a very structured environment where they're consumed from 6 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night and into bed. And they have to do that. In the weekends, we have them in the class to teach them all about the handbook and everything else that they're actually guaranteed a full cadet status. And then last but not least, when you take that under consideration that they are housing, living in a communal environment with boys from all over the globe, they have to learn to accept and respect the diversity of their peers in the community. And they've done that marvelously over the last 5 weeks. Now today we're going to give them the coveted hat brass. That is that transition from new cadet to full cadet. It's a beautiful emblem. They wear it on their hat. A few years ago we were doing this and the faculty and staff, under the general's guidance, the decision was made that let's create a new tradition. And let's have the centers of influence for these young men come up and put their hat brass on their hat. And so the mothers, the fathers, the grandparents, guardians, in a few minutes I'm going to ask that you come up here. One of our cadets is going to have the hat brass items. I want you to grab one hat brass item and to go out and pin it on your son's hat. Take a picture with him. Congratulate him, because this is a milestone for him today. This is a milestone, one of many that he's going to experience here at the Academy. It's also a milestone for you. When you look at it, you look how they transition, how they transform, this just gets better as time goes on. And we want you to be part of that celebration. I told the boys, we cry when we lose loved ones, we cry when our dogs pass away, and we cry at the passing through ceremony. We don't cry for anything else, okay? So, tears are okay out here today. So with that said, I'm going to get off my soapbox so we can get this going here. But in closing, thank you sincerely for taking the time to come down here today and to visit with us, especially in this cold weather. And I'm looking forward to meeting many of you tonight at the Valentine's Ball that are going to be there. It's going to be a good time. The boys love the Valentine's Ball. And then for those of you that are going out for the weekend and not getting this ball, just be safe and safe during this back home. But with that said, would you please come up here and join us and get a hat brass and let's pin on pick some old boys out of your sons.
Sir, this concludes today's passing through ceremony. Company miles and company sequence. Land company. And company motto. Purple blood is flowing green. See how high it is our creek. We were born a different breed. Strive for our company. Fight, fight, it's what we do. Do not try to beat you too. Bravo company.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's passing through ceremony. In 5 minutes, we will commence with the indoor review ceremony.